Friend, come sit a little closer, would you? My old bones don't bite, I promise. And I need you here beside me, because what I'm about to share, well, it still stings a bit, even though I'm 80 years old and supposed to be wise. But you know what I've learned? Age doesn't protect you from heartbreak. It only makes you more honest about where it hurts. You asked me the other day, Paul, why do avoidant people run the moment things get good? Why do they pull away just when you start to trust them? Oh, friend, you just opened the door to one of the biggest, strangest chapters of my life. You know, when you're young, you think love hurts because of breakups. When you're older, you realize love hurts because of patterns. Patterns you don't see until you're neck deep in them, until they're squeezing your heart like a stubborn blood pressure cuff. Let me tell you a story, one that starts decades ago when I met a woman who could melt ice with her smile, but freeze the whole damn ocean the moment you stepped too close. Her name was Lydia, and she was avoidant to the bone. If getting close to her was an emotional journey, friend, it was like trying to hug a cactus on a moving train. But oh, did she make me feel alive. I remember the first time she pulled away from me, so suddenly you'd think I asked her to donate a kidney. One moment we were laughing, holding hands, her head leaning on my shoulder like it belonged there, and then the next morning, cold, quiet, short messages, like someone pressed a switch inside her labeled "Retreat before intimacy detected." Back then, I didn't understand avoidant types. I thought maybe I said something wrong, maybe I breathed too loudly, maybe my eyebrows offended her. You know how old men's eyebrows get. They start looking like two angry caterpillars fighting for territory. But no, it wasn't my eyebrows. It was closeness. Avoidant people feel intimacy like heat from a fire, warm enough to want it, but hot enough to fear getting burned. They want connection deeply, desperately, but the moment it becomes real, they panic, they withdraw, they disappear behind an emotional curtain like a magician who forgot how his own trick works. And it took me years to understand this. Let me paint it for you the way it really felt. Imagine you're walking on a narrow bridge with someone. The view is beautiful, the air is warm, and just when you think you both reached the same middle point, they step back. Not because they don't like the view, but because the bridge suddenly looks too high, too unstable, too dangerous. You take one step forward, they take two back. You reassure them, they doubt you. You offer closeness, they offer distance. And friend, it is exhausting trying to love someone who fears the very thing you're offering. But let me tell you what they do when you get too close, because avoidant people have patterns as predictable as a rooster at sunrise. First, they become quiet. Not peaceful quiet, but suspicious quiet. The kind of quiet that says, "What are you planning? Why are you being nice to me? What do you want?" Then they start picking at details, little things, microscopic things. You texted too fast. You asked too many questions. You care too much. Care too much? Friend, isn't that the point? If caring becomes a problem, then love becomes a battlefield. Then comes the distancing act. The late replies, the canceled plans, the sudden busyness that smells as real as a $3 bill. And finally, their masterpiece, the vanish. Not always a full disappearance, but an emotional ghosting, a pulling back into a shell you never knew was there. And you, being the loving soul you are, try to fix it, not knowing that trying to fix an avoidant's fear of intimacy is like trying to fix a smoke alarm by yelling at it when it beeps. They don't pull away because of you. They pull away because closeness to them feels like danger. Let me tell you a moment that almost broke me. One night, Lydia and I sat at a little riverside cafe. The lights were soft, the music gentle, and her hand in mine felt like the universe finally got something right. She looked at me, really looked at me, with eyes softer than I'd ever seen on her. "Paul," she whispered, "you make me feel safe." Safe! I nearly melted into my chair like butter left in the sun. But that night was the last time she stayed close. The very next morning, she pushed me away so hard the emotional whiplash nearly put me in physiotherapy. She became distant, restless, irritated at things that never bothered her before. Why? Because her heart opened just a bit too much. Because she felt the closeness and it scared the daylight out of her. Avoidants don't fear you, they fear the feelings you awaken. And here's the part that hurts the most. They don't even know they're doing it. To them, pulling away feels like protection. To you, it feels like rejection. Friend, if loving someone is supposed to feel like coming home, loving an avoidant feels like being invited inside and then having the door slammed the moment you step in. And here's a funny thing. Avoidants say they want independence, but they cling to distance like it's a life raft. You ever seen a cat that wants affection but runs away the moment you look at it too lovingly? That was Lydia, a cat in human form, but prettier and less litter box maintenance. Now let me tell you why it hurts so damn much when an avoidant pulls away. Because you see the moments when they were close, and you think those moments were real. And they were, but they weren't sustainable for them. Coming close to you felt good until it didn't, until it felt scary, until it felt like losing control. And avoidants crave control like a toddler craves candy. They fear emotional dependence. They fear vulnerability. They fear needing someone. And there you are, offering closeness like a warm blanket on a cold night, not knowing they prefer freezing to the possibility of depending on you. But friend, I know what you're thinking right now. Paul, can they love at all? Oh, they can, but they love differently, quietly, carefully, like holding a fragile object they don't quite understand. Avoidants feel deeply, but express lightly. And this brings me to the big twist, the part of my story where the ground under my feet shifted. One day, after weeks of her pulling away, I confronted her, not angrily, just gently, the way you'd approach a skittish deer. I said, "Lydia, I care about you. You know that, right?" Her eyes flashed panic, pure, raw panic. You would have thought I told her I was moving into her house with 10 cats and a marching band. She said, "Paul, you're getting too close." I answered, "I'm just being real with you." And she whispered, "That's the problem." Friend, I felt that like a punch to the soul. Being real was the problem. Being close was the problem. Being loving was the problem. She walked away not because she didn't feel something, but because she did, and she didn't know how to handle it. Now, if this story has you clutching your chest, muttering, "Oh Lord, that feels familiar," then come give this old feller a hug, because you and I have walked the same emotional minefield. But listen, friend, before I go on, before we dig deeper into the reasons avoidants act the way they do, let this old feller ask you something real quick. If you're listening to this story and thinking, "Damn, Paul, this is exactly what I went through," then do me a little favor. Tap that like button, leave a comment telling me your own story, and subscribe to this channel. It helps us keep these conversations going. And honestly, I love knowing I'm not the only one out here surviving emotional chaos after 60. Makes me feel less like a sentimental old fool. Now come closer, because we're only warming up. You want to know what avoidants really fear when you get too close. It's not you. It's not love. It's not commitment. It's exposure. To love someone is to be seen, and avoidants were never taught that being seen is safe. You see, avoidants grew up learning that emotions lead to disappointment. Maybe their parents were cold. Maybe their needs were ignored. Maybe they were told to tough it up instead of being comforted. So they learned early that vulnerability is dangerous. And when you come along, soft-hearted, warm, affectionate, they don't see connection. They see a threat to their self-preservation. Let me share another memory, one that still feels like it happened yesterday. I once wrote Lydia a small letter, nothing dramatic, just a sweet note saying I enjoyed our time together and hoped we could grow closer. I even included a little drawing of 2 old rocking chairs, which I thought was darn cute. She called me immediately, not to say thank you. Oh no. She said, "Paul, why would you send this?" I said, "Because I care, because I wanted to make you smile." But she didn't smile. She sounded suspicious, defensive, overwhelmed. She said, "This is too much." Too much? A note, a doodle, a kind word? But to an avoidant, tenderness feels like pressure. Closeness feels like expectation. Affection feels like a demand they can't meet. And the worst part? Instead of telling you they're scared, they act like you did something wrong. You're too intense. You're too emotional. You're moving too fast. Meanwhile, all you did was care. Honestly, genuinely, gently. They're not trying to hurt you, friend. They're trying to protect themselves. But in protecting themselves, they end up hurting you. And oh boy, it hurts. It hurts because you see their potential. You see their heart. You see the moments when the walls drop, even briefly, and you think, if they could just trust me, just a little. But avoidants don't trust easily. Not because you're untrustworthy, but because trust feels like handing someone the key to their softest wounds, and that terrifies them. Friend, let me tell you something true. Loving an avoidant feels like trying to build a house on land that keeps shifting under your feet. You start laying the foundation, and suddenly the ground moves. Not because the land hates you, but because it was never stable to begin with. But oh, when they do let you in, even for a moment, it feels like discovering a hidden garden no one else has seen. Their warmth is rare, precious, genuine, but fleeting. You spend more time chasing the warmth than receiving it, and that is why it hurts. Now don't wander off yet. This old man still has much more to tell you, especially what avoidants do when they secretly love you but can't handle it. That's where the story really starts twisting like a telenovela plotline on fast forward. But I won't make this too long in one breath, friend. My lungs may be 80, but they're still working, and I intend to use them wisely. Come back here beside me, because we're about to walk into the deeper part of the story, the part where I realized something about avoidance that changed everything. Now, friend, lean a little closer, because the 4th warning sign, this one, is the one that almost wiped me out completely, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and even financially. A truly toxic woman feeds on chaos. She doesn't just attract drama, oh no, she cultivates it like a prized garden. Let me explain. Healthy women love peace, they love harmony, they love waking up to calm mornings and going to bed without emotional earthquakes. But a toxic woman, she needs drama like a plant needs sunlight. Without it, she wilts. Elvira could turn a quiet evening into a full-blown Hollywood disaster movie. I remember one night, oh, this one stayed with me, when we were sitting on the couch watching a documentary about penguins. Penguins, friend, the least dramatic creatures in the animal kingdom. And somehow, she paused the show, looked at me with narrowed eyes, and said, "Why did you breathe like that? Are you annoyed with me?" Friend, I wasn't annoyed, I was existing. She would create storms out of thin air, Storms I had to navigate with an umbrella made of hope and 2 aspirin. And you know what the worst part is? They always make you believe that you started the storm, that you caused it, that you are the reason they're upset. Drama becomes the anchor of the relationship, and the silence becomes suspicious. If you ever meet a woman who can't survive without emotional explosions, that's not passion, that's toxicity disguised as intensity. Now let me breathe. This is a heavy memory for an old man like me, and my poor tea is getting cold. But we press on. Because the 5th warning sign? Oh, friend, this one hurts the deepest. A toxic woman uses your vulnerabilities as weapons. She listens. Oh, she listens so well. She encourages you to open up. She asks gentle questions. She invites your secrets in like honored guests. And then she arms herself with them. I once told Elvira about my biggest insecurity, how I used to feel like I wasn't enough for the people I cared about, a soft confession made on a fragile night. And later, during an argument, she threw it at me like a spear. You were right, Paul. You aren't enough. Not for me, maybe not for anyone. Friend, you don't forget words like that. They don't just enter your ears, they settle in your bones. A woman who loves you protects your softness. A toxic woman takes your softness and sculpts it into a weapon. And now we reach the 6th and final warning sign, the one that reveals everything. A truly toxic woman never apologizes. She will flip situations, twist events, rewrite history, blame planets, blame weather, blame you, blame anyone but herself. She sees accountability the way a vampire sees sunlight. Elvira could bump into a wall and somehow make it my fault. Paul, if you'd spoken louder earlier, I wouldn't be distracted and I wouldn't have hit the wall. That woman could have run a political campaign with that level of excuse-making. And friend, here's the truth. If a woman never apologizes, she never changes. And if she never changes, the pain only grows. Now, let me rest my old back against this chair for a moment, because talking about these things, it's like opening old wounds. But I share them with you because I care, because you're my friend, because I want you to be protected in ways I wasn't. And let me say something else, something important. You deserve peace, not chaos. You deserve honesty, not manipulation. You deserve warmth, not emotional frostbite. And you deserve a partner or friends who don't dim your light, but help it shine brighter. Now, before we slowly bring this story home, let me give you something tender, a little reminder from an 80-year-old man who has loved, lost, been fooled, and survived to talk about it. Not every woman is toxic. Most are kind, beautiful, loving, powerful souls who lift you up instead of tearing you down. But the toxic ones, the ones who hide poison in sweetness, you must spot them early or you lose yourself by the time you realize what happened. You, friend, don't lose yourself. Not at 60. Not ever. Now, let me straighten my shirt because it's time to close this chapter with a little bit of calm, a sprinkle of humor, and a whisper of wisdom. If you stayed with me this long, spent these minutes with this old voice of mine, then I want to tell you something sincerely. If you found even a little value in what I shared, if it felt like sitting together and talking heart to heart, do me a small kindness. Like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It keeps this old storyteller going. But wait, don't go just yet, because I have something even better for you. See, when this video ends, 2 more will pop up on your screen. And trust me, friend, we hand-picked them just for you. They're like the dessert after a heavy meal. Sweet, satisfying, and exactly what you need next. No pressure, no pushing, nothing forced. Just me telling you, as your old friend Paul, that if you've enjoyed this story, you're gonna love those next 2 even more.
They'll keep you learning, laughing, and maybe even wiping away a tear or two. And between us, I'd love for you to stay with us here, in our little corner of the internet, rather than wandering off to channels that don't talk to you the way I do. So, when the screen shows you those two videos, go ahead and click one, then the next. Let's keep spending time together, friend. Let's keep this conversation going, not just here, but through every story we share from this old heart of mine. Now, come on, go enjoy those videos waiting for you. I'll meet you there, like always.
Because we're about to walk into the deeper part of the story. The part where I realized something about avoidance that changed everything. Now listen closely, friend, because this is the part of my life I don't talk about much. Not because I'm ashamed, but because even at 80 years old, it still catches in my chest like a fish hook. But if my pain can help you avoid a few heartaches, then I'll gladly spill it all. There came a point with Lydia when her pushing and pulling wasn't just confusing, it was emotional whiplash. One day she'd lace her fingers with mine like she never wanted to let go. The next day she acted like I handed her a live grenade. You'd think I was asking for her social security number, house keys, and a lock of hair all at once with the way she reacted. Avoidants have this rhythm. They come close, they feel warmth, they panic, they retreat. Then they miss you, come back, feel warmth, panic, retreat again. It's like loving someone who's stuck in a revolving door and you're just standing outside trying not to get smacked every time they spin around. But then something interesting happened, something I didn't expect. One night, after a long spell of her distancing, she showed up at my door unannounced. Friend, I nearly dropped my bowl of oatmeal. She stood there trembling, not from the cold, but from something deeper. She said, "Paul, I hate that I push you away, but when you get close, I feel like I'm losing myself." And you know what I realized in that moment? Avoidants aren't running from you. They're running from the version of themselves they become when they love someone. Because loving someone requires surrender, and surrender is terrifying for someone who survived by staying guarded. I invited her in, made her tea, and we talked for hours. For the first time, she was honest, raw, vulnerable, and friend, she cried. Not soft tears, nah, she cried like her heart was cracking open and spilling out everything she'd held inside for decades. She told me she grew up in a house where emotions were treated like chores, necessary but unwanted. Her mother was cold, her father distant. No hugs, no comfort, no "I love you" without conditions attached. So she learned young, don't need anyone, don't trust closeness, don't show weakness. And when I came along with my open heart and ridiculous romantic gestures, I wasn't a comfort, I was a threat to the fortress she'd spent her whole life building. I held her hand gently, and she let me. That alone felt like witnessing a sunrise after days of storm clouds. But here's the truth I didn't want to face. No matter how much she cared for me, she wasn't ready to stay close. And friend, a relationship where one person fears the very thing the other person needs cannot survive without pain. After that night, she stayed close for a little while. We took walks, talked deeply, laughed like old friends and new lovers all at once. But little by little, I saw her walls rebuilding. She'd hold my hand, then suddenly let go. She'd smile warmly, then withdraw mid-sentence. She'd start a sweet message, then turn it cold halfway through. She wasn't doing it to hurt me. She was doing it to survive herself. One evening, she said the words that ended everything. "Paul, I love you, but being with you hurts me more than being without you. And I know I'm hurting you too.
I can't keep doing this. And friend, hearing someone say they love you while walking away is the kind of heartbreak that doesn't crack you, it hollows you. For weeks, I wandered around like a confused pigeon, sad, lost, and unsure of which window I accidentally flew into. But life teaches you lessons at strange times, and one day, sitting on my porch sipping a cup of tea far too strong for my old stomach, I realized something important. Avoidants don't run because they don't love you. They run because love demands vulnerability, and vulnerability feels like danger when your wound's never healed. Now listen here, friend, because this is the part you need to hold close. You cannot love someone into healing. You cannot chase someone into trusting. You cannot pull someone close if closeness feels like a threat to them. What you can do is understand them, learn from them, and most importantly, protect your own heart. But don't worry, this story isn't ending in tragedy. Old Paul didn't stay sad forever. Life has a funny way of pulling you back to joy when you least expect it.